Welcome back. After Two-Step Bhangra and Turn the Music Up, Canadian music artists The Bills and Kashif are aiming real high. It's the One Voice project in support of war-affected children around the world. The song even has an authentic Sanskrit chorus. With all the details and more on the Montreal music scene and Jay Sean's North American tour, we have in studio Raoul Juneja, a.k.a. Deejay Ra. Our favorite Deejay Ra that we know.
Always a pleasure. The one and only.
The one and only. So let's chat music right off the bat. Obviously, Jay Sean coming to town. I have never received so many Facebook messages inquiring about the likes of Jay Sean. Yeah. For our audience who's not familiar with him, tell us a little bit about who Jay Sean is.
Yeah, Jay Sean, definitely one of those preeminent, R&B artists, I would say, on the South Asian scene. Basically coming out of the UK, started out with Rishi Rich as part of the Rishi Rich project. Did some amazing, collaborations and some hit singles. Ended up venturing off on his own. Getting involved with a lot of top producers in the States as well. And the really big news was basically became the first South Asian artist to sign with a major U.S. record label.
Right. Cash Money Records,
which is very interesting because out of all the record labels and all the artists out there, I didn't immediately see that as the perfect fit. But as I started to get into it, I said, oh, you know what, Lil Wayne, #1 rapper in the world, very good kind of R&B connections and stuff.
#1 selling rapper.
Selling rapper, right. Yeah. Let's emphasize that. KRS-One is the one for me.
Okay, well, we'll have that debate on another day. Cash Money, though, has developed his sound into more of an R&B mainstream feel. Yeah. So do you feel like they're going to try to cash in on the sort of South Asian thing with him, or they're going to try to get both?
Yeah, I think they're looking for the best of both worlds at this point, and I think with the whole Slumdog success and everything over the past couple of years, I think everyone is really putting their eyes towards the South Asian scene and seeing that this is especially with India touring and stuff, this is a huge market for them. And even with Snoop Dogg and the RDB and Akshay track, and now Snoop wanting to tour India, it's like I'm sure Lil Wayne sees India as one of those spots, and even the UK as well. And it just it always helps to have that bridge between the two worlds. And I think with Jay Sean, they're going to keep it very authentic, very it's a very similar collaboration that I've seen many labels do, where they just take an artist with a pre-existing fan base and just say we want to put him out in the mainstream. And I would say even Russell Peters to some extent, with Comedy Central, it was basically taking his brand and just pushing it out in the mainstream in a big way, and that has had great success for him. So.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately the comedy genre doesn't necessarily follow the same path as music, but you have a very good point about how sometimes we have to come with this built repertoire of fan bases, etc., to show the major labels that there is action out there. Yeah. We profiled Swami in a few different ways on the show recently, and Swami is a big deal, but they're coming back to Toronto, right?
Yeah, that's right, in the next little bit, and I think they've been working with an artist who we know, a good friend of ours from Bollywood Boulevard, Shobha, as well, working on some collaborations and stuff, and of course, as we mentioned, Swami produced a number of tracks with Apache Indian, and even worked with Shania Twain and stuff. So I think they really have a good vision as to what the scene is turning into, and I really think they're that next group that really will be crossing over. And I think when we see someone like a Swami, when we see someone like a Jay Sean, and of course, as we mentioned, Jay Sean is actually kicking off his North American tour in Waterloo next week. Which is very interesting, because I think they're really looking towards doing shows with the South Asian.
And I love the people that watch the show from Waterloo when we run into them. I love them because there's a great healthy crowd.
That's the main thing.
So that's a good thing too. And we were talking about Swami Music, who are all over Twitter, by the way. We should mention that they're constantly on Twitter updating people with new tracks and new music and stuff, so that's a great way to get out to people for them.
Yeah, the social networking seems to be, of course, the MySpaces and Facebooks, and at the end of the day, YouTube as well. It was interesting, even in Russell's case, that was pre-MySpace, pre-YouTube, and it was just people sharing files, but I think people realized, what's the potential of the online market, and even in terms of, people say the physical CD is on the way out the door, the same way like the VCR is, so people are saying, the whole iTunes and iPod generation, that's the way to go. So I would say even for up-and-coming artists, definitely, focus and pimp out your MySpace, as they call it, and do what you need to do.
Yeah, but there's got to be some commerce to be had too, and I think it's important to point out that there's a way to make money doing the live shows, get out there and make sure you're seen and heard. Speaking of seen and heard, my favorite city is Montreal, and happens to have some of the most talented South Asians that are coming out in the market right now. Josh has been a staple from Montreal, has sort of carried the Montreal flag for as long as I remember. remember.
Yeah.
A lot of big things happening with them, I hear, as well.
Yeah, it's all over the world, you know, and they actually have a new album coming out in the next little bit, and I think they definitely, like, you know, are one of those groups that, you know, really has that signature sound, and people say when they're listening to a track and they hear it's a Josh track, you know, they just say, okay, yeah, we knew that. You know, we could kind of tell that it was coming there. And
yeah.
They're actually working with another friend of Bollywood, Blvd, Preeta, who was on the show earlier, and you know, doing a couple tracks with her. So I really think Montreal, for some reason, really has that potential to put these South Asian artists out, like Josh, and of course like the Bills as well, out on the major scene. So
another good friend of ours is working with them, Tabla guy Gurpreet,
of course,
on the new album. They're actually in Pakistan right now, working on tracks at the Coke Studio. Again, off Twitter. That's the only reason I know.
Are you on Twitter yet? Are you Twittering?
Yes, unfortunately I am.
Mohit is doing an interview right now.
Exactly.
You know, like,
I'm doing it right now. Now let's of course talk about the Bills and Kashif. Great fans of theirs. We've loved them from day one on the show. What's this new project all about?
Yeah, this One Voice project was something I was very honored to get involved with, because we had worked on a similar project with Iman Faith for the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund Canada, which was an AIDS awareness rap song. And in this case, it was interesting when I found out that the Bills were basically putting together this track that was just basically speaking to humanity, you know, and just saying that this is there's been a lot of charitable tracks put out. There's been a lot of great messages, but I think as South Asian artists, they really have been the first to really get that message and say, okay, we're going to take a nice R&B, you know, kind of song and mix it in with some good messages, then add a little, you know, Sanskrit hook, which Master D just kills it with, you know. Just like,
there's a Gayatri mantra as the hook. And if I thought that I'd ever see this day that they'd be able to use something with respect, it's phenomenal.
That's the main thing.
And we have the privilege, we're going to be doing a full profile on both the song and the artist. The Bills will be coming through at some point very soon, so we'll stay tuned for that. But Desi Wear also is involved with a t-shirt campaign as well. Where can people find out more about the whole War Child campaign?
Yeah, it's a fantastic website that the Bills and their partners have put together, which is called onevoicefoundation.com, and basically all the links are on there. Everyone can get involved, and it's a fantastic project that basically is benefiting War Child Canada, which basically creates awareness and solutions for war-affected children around the world.
That's phenomenal.
It's all about, you know, combating poverty, sustainability, you know, getting people involved, and I think it was a very nice collaboration, because War Child, they've worked with some of the biggest you know, music artists in the world, and the Bills are really that first South Asian group to really get involved with one of these, you know, massive charity campaigns that is very much needed, I think, in the world today. And
please do download the album authentically.
That's the main thing.
That's the key point, right? Because that's how the money goes to charity, as well as the Desi Wear campaign.
Exactly, and all the proceeds are going to War Child Canada.
That's
so
phenomenal.
It's like, you know, of course, just support it and do what you can, and that's how we'll do it.
Great. Always a pleasure. We should probably just start a spin-off to Bollywood Boulevard just to talk about music. We're going to actually show a glimpse of the video now. And of course, thank you so much for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll have you back soon to get caught up on the latest.
Sounds good.
Bollywood Boulevard continues with Geetika after this break. We'll be right back. Here's a look at the video.
Living in fear and pain, struggling hard to stay alive, praying to be saved. Among nations dropping bombs, killing innocent victims, missing love for humanity. We have a mission to accomplish and to practice what we preach.